Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. I get the good fortune today to interview Devin Johnson from SalesAi, the #1 rated all-in-one AI solution. Devin, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it, Seth. Honored to chop it up here, talk about AI and anything else you could throw at me.
I'll certainly do my best to throw a few things at you. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
Yeah, so I started young. I started by flipping sneakers. I started by reselling high-end Nikes, Jordans, Yeezys, and I started my entrepreneur journey out of desperate times calls for desperate measures. And so my sister was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. My dad was struggling with addiction and really not in the picture. So I started hustling sneakers to help my mom and sister out when I was 15. 16, I got my driver's license. I started hosting sneaker trade shows, convention style. And all the way through high school, that's what I did, was buy, sell, flip sneakers. When I graduated high school, market got very tough, so my first real adversity was they shifted all major sneaker releases to online only. And so inventory became very hard to get your hands on unless you're paying just a crazy premium, which really ate up your profit margins. So that was my first major lesson of adversity in business, but jumped into digital marketing, failed at that, jumped into a coupons business, failed at that, terrible business called Slingshot Savings, failed at that, which led to the first quote unquote success for me in the tech world, which was a company called Kennected. And that was our first big takeoff. So we launched that in 2018. We sold that in October of 2023. So that's a little bit of background. My sister beat the cancer, got us good. And fortunately, my dad, he did pass away from overdose and so on and so forth. Every entrepreneur has that crazy come up story. So mine was forged in fire and embraced the adversity as it came.
Wow. So the longer version of that story should be in a book somewhere if it isn't already. Glad your sister's okay. Sorry about your dad. I didn't even know flipping sneakers was a thing. Does that mean you were like buying them at Famous Footwear and then reselling them on eBay or on the street? Or I got to ask how that works before we get into it.
Yeah, definitely wasn't Famous Footwear.
Sorry, Louds or something.
Yeah, no. So you would buy them directly through Nike retailers. So Finish Line, JD Sports, Foot Action. Those are your major retailers that you would deal with and get your hands on these sneakers. But it's actually still a multi-billion-dollar market on flipping shoes. So the brands have definitely caught on to it, and they've even publicly stated that they're making more quantities of these limited runs to try to offset some of the resales. But if you just download the app StockX and go look at some of the sneaker prices, I think it'd blow your mind. I mean, there's shoes that are, the average nicer shoes probably $600, and then they go all the way up to well over 100,000.
I never would. And this isn't Louis Vuitton. This isn't Louboutin, that the women go crazy for. This is a sneaker that I'm hoping if I'm spending $600, I'm naive. If I'm spending $600 on a shoe, I'm not wearing it. I'm putting it on the shelf and collecting it and hoping I'm going to sell it to somebody else one day. But again, we could do a whole podcast on that, but that's not why you're here.
Yeah.
Thank you for Kennected, by the way. We have been customers of Kennected.
Mhm.
So let's talk about how SalesAi came about.
Yeah. So as we were building Kennected, we understood that businesses didn't only have a lead generation problem because it was very top of funnel focused. So meaning you used us to get new opportunities into the business. And so we realized a lot of businesses struggled with lead conversion, the post lead cycle. So meaning response time, follow up time, qualification. I can't tell you how many calls that we would overhear about, I wish you guys could just qualify the lead and book it to my calendar. And so, towards the end of Kennected's journey, or I should say, as we were about to sell it, we had a language model that we had built for a feature set inside the product to do automated responding to all of your DMs and inbound messages. And when the opportunity came to sell, I actually kind of kept that off to the side and I built it into a solution that's now known as SalesAi. So, SalesAi, what we do, we create AI agents for two very specific use cases: inbound lead qualification, routing, follow up, rebook, go in and attack your pipeline, everything post lead in the business. AI agents can do that fully automated without humans. And the other use case is tier one customer support. So you, me, everyone listening to this probably have customers. I would assume if you're in business, we all know customers call and ask the same questions every single day. And the more you grow the business, the more those come in. And so we create AI agents for businesses to be able to have 24/7 tier one customer support. We really focus on mid-market businesses. That is our primary ICP, meaning they have an established customer base, they have an established sales motion, so on and so forth. So not as much in the SMB market as I was in Kennected. I learned a lot of lessons in that business. But it's scaling rapidly and it's an incredibly fun industry to be in.
Awesome. You mentioned mid-market. Is there any industry that this works better in? Is there a company size that qualifies them to work with SalesAi?
Yeah, so the rule of thumb that we really like to follow on company and industry and so on and so forth, really like to be in the B2B realm. We do not like handling or servicing B2C. There's some special use cases on that, but our primary ICP is the decision makers, either VP of customer success or VP of sales. They typically have on either side of that business, they typically have 5 to 10 either sales reps or customer success reps. They have a CRM that they utilize and they have an established either sales process or customer support process. And it could be looked at as a larger SMB, but we like to really tackle that mid-market.
That is awesome. Now, it's going to seem obvious to you, but I want to clarify. So you've got two different programs, it sounds like. What are the problems that those AI agents are solving?
Yeah. So one platform, but two different use cases you can utilize for. So it's not necessarily two different technologies, but the primary pain problems on the sales side. So speed to lead, if it's after business hours, we've all know we've missed a lead, and before you know it, they're shopping your competitor. The ability to qualify and only deal with closing leads that fit your needs and what you sell and who you sell to. So it does all of your lead qualification. But then on the backside of the sales cycle, if people don't show up for meetings, so rebooking meetings, we're getting people re-engaged in your pipeline, and then also reactivating cold leads. We all have leads sitting in our CRM that we do nothing with, and so we could put AI to go out there and re-engage them and call them, text them, email them, and it's fully conversational and it routes them right back into your sales cycle. And then on the customer support side, very similar but a little bit different pain points. So you're incurring really expensive personnel costs because you're trying to hire and fulfill customer support roles. We all know those have really high turnover because people don't want to deal with problems all day, so on and so forth. The inconsistency of fixing customers' problems. So we all have our FAQs on our website, or at least most businesses do, but no one looks at those. Like, let's just face the reality. They pick up the phone, they call you. So being able to give that 24/7 human to human feel and touch within the business, again, powered by AI. But then also it can do customer support escalations, tickets, and move people into more severe or, hey, we got to fix this right now with a human. It can sense all of that and actually perform that action.
Awesome. And then are these powered by email? Are they delivering these things via email, via text, via voice? How does that work?
Yeah, so our primary channel is voice. We're releasing texting to the not just beta users, but the entire customer base here at the end of March, and then we're releasing email a couple months after. So it is all synchronized as well. So if a call comes in, they'll be able to reference via text and then via email, so on and so forth. So all the channels work together.
Awesome. And then how does the bot learn? How does it get trained? Is the client, are we responsible for training it? Do you guys interview us and get content and then train it? How does it get trained and how does it get smarter?
Yeah, so we call these pathways within the product. So you have a couple ways that you can train our product. And the simplest is uploading your FAQs, your database, then any scripts you're currently utilizing in the business. And then the product massages that into an AI prompt, AI script. And then you do have your good old fashioned type away and test away, right? We do provide customer service to assist the best path for your business, and we do educate the end user, human to human, educate them on what would be the best for their business and their use case.
You've achieved some impressive results. Can you give us a couple examples? And if the client identity is confidential, it can just be ABC company. But what was their challenge when they hired you? What did you guys do for them? And then what was that magical transformation you were able to engineer with this?
Yeah, so we just released our survey results from our customer base beginning of January, and the statistics, whether they were either using it for lead generation or customer support, the general statistics that were really impressive was we reduced speed to lead or answer rate by 80%. So everything was being answered, everything was coming into the business and instantly being worked and solved. So that was a huge relief. 35% on the sales side, 35% average increase of leads being booked to the calendar because you're instantly calling versus waiting hours, minutes, or days. So on the sales side, an average of 35% increase. And then we've seen an average of 50% net promoter score increase on customers surveying their customers about how their support experience was. We've seen a 50% increase on average with our user base last year.
That is absolutely incredible. And I love that you've got the data. Shoot, what's your biggest challenge now?
Biggest challenge probably keeping up with market demand. It's crazy. You know, it took me 5 years or 4 years to do what we did in revenue last year at Kennected, and we did it in 9 months. So, you know, we clocked in just over 30 million in ARR in 9 months, which is the explosive growth. For anyone in the startup scene, like the first year, I wanted to do like 4 million, right? For instance, and we absolutely blew that out of the water. So, keeping up with product demand and market demand, and then making sure we're selling the right customers. So that's why it's very clear on the podcast who we like to work with, because we early on we definitely sold some of the wrong customers for sure.
We've all done it. Is there a minimum number of leads they've got coming in a month or inquiry coming in a month that would let our users know let our listeners and viewers know that they've got enough volume to talk to you?
Yeah, if you have 100 leads coming inbound to the business or 100 support tickets on average a month coming into the business, that's kind of a sweet spot.
Awesome. And for our folks who are watching or listening, where should they go to learn more?
SalesAi.com. Very simple, very proud of that domain. So it's all one word, no tricky spelling. Fought hard for that one when we launched the business. So yeah, SalesAi.com.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
It's amazing to see, I've been a small business and in getting off the ground. It's just amazing to develop technology that assists businesses to actually go to scale and not have to lean on antiquated or challenging systems. And also, we're very affordable as well. So being a part of arguably the greatest tech revolution is very exciting. We had early market mover advantage. We took the market by storm. We raised, a significant family office round at the end of last year to do acquisition. So very excited to be a dominant force and put AI into businesses that actually works and creates revenue.
That is awesome. Well, again, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We appreciate you spending some of it with us. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Devin Johnson from SalesAi.com. Devin, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Seth. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.